Hi, my name is Aileen. I'm 15 years old. I'm a junior and I study in Colegio Evangélico Bautista in Dominican Republic. I'm going to tell you my story of how I became a Christian, and hopefully you'll feel touched by it or related by it, and you'll know that you're not alone in your situation. Begins like this. In 2008, the week after I turned 9 years old, my mom was going to give birth to my younger brother. So that day, the day after she gave birth, they called my dad at 5 a.m. in the morning, and they said that that he had to go to the hospital because something bad had happened. So he went to the hospital, and my uncle took me to school. So at school, all I could think of is that I wanted to see my mom and my younger brother, because I haven't seen him yet, and my mom, because it was a surgery that they did to her. So she went to the hospital a few days before she gave birth. So I haven't seen her but 3 days before. So when it was time to go to the house, I was waiting for my school bus to pick me up, but instead my aunt picked me up, and it was weird because she never had picked me up before. So I imagined that the reason that she came, it was because she was going to take me to the hospital to see my mom and my younger brother. So you can imagine my reaction when she told me that my mom has passed away and that I was not going to see her anymore. And I was shocked because I was 9 years old and I didn't expect that. And it was hard because I was left with my dad, my 1-year-old sister, and my baby-born brother. So it was very hard for me. So when they told me that, all I could think of is that there was no reason to live anymore, because I didn't have my mom. I didn't have anyone to. I had my dad, but I didn't have that affection of my mom, and I didn't have someone to receive me when I came from school, and to tell me how was school, what you did, and stuff like that. And so my dad decided that we couldn't live in our old house anymore. So basically we changed lives, because I moved to my grandmom's, and I also changed school. So I became a Christian a few months after my mom's death. I didn't think that I had anyone to be there for me, but then one day I went to church with my grandmom, and I understood that everything happens for a reason. Because if my family were not Christian before my mom died. My mom was, but my dad wasn't. So after her death, and after we moved to my grandmom's house, and my whole family, me and my dad, and also my brother and sister, we started going to church. And as I said, I understood that everything happened for a reason, because if it hadn't happened that way, maybe I wouldn't be Christian right now. And maybe I wouldn't be telling you my testimony. And maybe there's people right now that are watching this video and listening to me that are going to have a change in their life with this video. At least I hope so. So I also understood that you're not alone. You're not alone in the situations of life. I mean, you can think that you are, but God is always with us. He's not. He doesn't leave us alone, and it doesn't matter the situation. Doesn't matter how hard it is, because it is very hard for me. I mean, for my entire family. I mean, I lost my mom, but my grandmother lost her daughter, and my dad lost her wife. And I'm grateful that even though she died when I was very young, and I can't remember as much as her as I wanted to, but I'm grateful that at least I got to spend 9 wonderful years with her, instead of my baby brother who didn't even know her. So I feel that at my 2 years later, after my mom's death, my dad got married, and she was not Christian. She isn't, and when I felt terrible, because I didn't. It was hard for me to see my dad with some other woman. I mean, it was terrible to accept my mom's death, but it was even more terrible to see my dad with another woman. So that was very hard for me, and I prayed to God, and He helped me go through that situation, and I did. And I won't say that my life is perfect, because it's not. But after I became a Christian, it was a relief, because I couldn't talk about my mom without crying, and I can, because I know that someday I'll join her soon, and that gives me peace. And if you're going to a situation that doesn't have to be the same. I mean, for God, there aren't big problems or little ones. It could be a little problem for you, but for God, it'll matter the same as a big one. So what I'm trying to do with this video is that I want to help people to know that they're not alone, and God will help them, will help you to go through that situation. It doesn't matter how big or how little it is.